Alright, this is patch notes for the 26th of September, the 1.2 Prephs update. And there's actually some pretty good changes in here that we can dive into. So one of the most important things is there is server upgrades, and more specifically for Southeast Asia and Japan. This was much needed, and I'm very excited that they are actually taking action on these servers. So both my region, Southeast Asia and Japan, we are getting better servers, which is fantastic. I'm very, very happy about this. This is probably my biggest issue with the game right now, and they're actively addressing it, which is awesome to see. So if you're in my region or Japan, you can expect to get better servers, which should hopefully alleviate some of the lag. One of the main things that comes from this update is obviously introducing the Prephs Clash, which the first servers for start on the 26th of September, basically right as the patch goes live. So I'll be jumping straight into that as I'm on a day 1 server, and as they need to, they will progressively open more servers depending on when you reach phase 6 on your server. The other thing that comes with this update is the Animal Ranching 2.0. This allows you to finally breed animals and not have to worry about constantly going back and farming animals. This means there's going to be a higher production rate for pristine meat, which is really good to see, because I think one of the main problems, especially from a PvP buff standpoint, is getting pristine like bear meat, goat meat, and deer meat was a hell of a grind, because you had to constantly go back into the wilderness, tame animals, and then tame them up. Now you can just have 2 and constantly breed them and get pristine meat, which makes farming a hell of a lot more effective than it once was. Alongside this, we're getting new cosmetics and some small balance changes, actually specific for raiding and PvP, especially going into the faction style, which is very heavily based on that faction raiding. So there's also some very good stuff in here regarding that. So again, you have a new facility for taming where you will breed your animals, and again, you have to have your animals, like your parent animals, I guess, at a high tameness to breed them and get the offspring, so then you can get more pristine meat. I don't know what the production rates are. That is something we'll have to find out when we're in game. 3 new tameable animals, being the capybara, flamingo, and leopard. The other big one is the Eternal Land Workshop. So this is one that I'm personally very excited for. It's going to add a lot of content to streams and videos, so a lot more things to do during downtimes now, when there's like less content from the devs themselves. Check out other people's content, PvP maps. It should be a lot of fun. So there's an Eternal Land roaming screen where I'll put a concept image up. We'll be able to roam through the Eternal Lands of random players. Liking them will make them bigger and have a bigger presence on the UI. So think of it effectively as like Fortnite Creative. Again, if you've ever played Fortnite, again, this is the image of what the UI actually looks like, and I'm very excited for what this is going to bring to the game. I think this is going to add a bunch of replayability, and it's very exciting. So this is again also obviously the recommendation system, which I mentioned. So you'll be able to browse other islands, give them likes, make them bigger on the roaming screen UI. Also, the katana is now an obtainable blueprint through the Wish Machine blueprint shop. There's also a new Lightforge loot crate. I don't really care about this, but if you want to, you can get a new car and some other cool stuff. They've already published the skins on the Twitter, but this actually just adds it to the game. Then they've got some new furniture packs, which is awesome. I think that's one of the main things that people actually like purchasing in this game. New skins as well, new weapon skins, new free rename card and Chrysalis token that can be redeemed from the shop with 1 energy link, which is pretty cool. Nice. There's a new event, the Northern Tour. Not really sure what this is. It might be a teaser for the Way of Winter, and reading through it earlier is effectively, the vibe I get from it is that we're going to be getting a sneak peek at what's to come, and you're going to be able to get an exclusive skin, Starcrom, and such from it. I think that is just neat, a way to tease what's coming and get you hyped up. I think it's a very cool way of doing it as well, through an in-game event. So they're adding an event for returning players. I believe you have to have an account that is, you have to have an account that hasn't played for 14 days, and doing that you will get a bunch of, I guess, boosters. You get, some, I think, Starcrom, Mitsuko marks, morph deviations, EXP buffs, like double XP like Call of Duty. I think that's fair. I think that is a great thing to do to incentivize people to come back that may not have the time to grind. Again, increasing the player count. I think that is absolutely fantastic. Optimizations. So this is sort of some of the big ones for PvP and such here. Tactical items. Effectively, raiding has been made a little bit harder for both the current evolution school and going into the Prephs Clash. It is going to be a little bit harder to raid, which the game needed, because currently the explosive meta is quite OP and easy to raid. But they've effectively made the explosive scale, and the more, I guess, lower tier they are, such as they mention it here. Molotov Cocktail doesn't do destructiveness pretty much at all anymore. It will only really do high damage to wood. So now Molotovs are pretty much useless against like stone and metal, which is a great change. And then you've got RPG, considerable damage to concrete. So the RPG also got nerfed and isn't as strong against concrete. So assuming this will now mean that C4 probably does the most damage, and same with Gatling cannons, which they haven't really mentioned here, which is another concern that will need to be addressed down the line, I hope. But again, RPGs have been nerfed, and with the recent RPG oversight, I'm not going to share it on screen because I think it should be fixed rather soon, and I don't want people to go around using that RPG effectively a bug, because it ruins the entire flow of raiding in this game. So basically, yeah, RPG got a small nerf, Molotovs and such got a big nerf, unless it's wood, so making the most effective way to raid either C4 or Gatling cannons. They've recalibrated the material type and durability, so that maybe we'll have to test this out, that some building pieces may be stronger now, which would be pretty cool. They've added some new quality of life to chat, private chat channel for friends, that new journey tasks, which would give you a tiny bit more Starcraft, I think more controllers as well. Added normal and hard difficulties to the Forsaken Giant, pro difficulty has been adjusted, so there's also now no phase restriction for that Forsaken Giant as well. Vehicle obstruction and other issues, I'm not too sure what they mean by that. Oh, vehicles blocking passages. Okay, yep, that's fair. So that is sort of all of the stuff we know. Oh, they're also working on a request for trade zones in the wilderness, which is pretty nice. So again, effectively, the whole patch notes boils down to some pretty decent changes. So you've got obviously the prison verse scenario coming, the ranching system 2.0, which allows breeding and taming. You've got eternal land roaming and workshop, so you can effectively have a lot more content, browsing and jumping through PvP islands, PvE islands, chill islands and such. I've added the fabled Masamune as a blueprint. New Lightforge crate. I'm not the biggest fan of this, but it is there if you want it. So you've got the new skins, new territory packs. You've got the free Chrysalis token and renaming card. You've got the Northern Tour event, which is a sneak peek at what's to come in way of winter. You've got the new Gather Friends, so they've added some new rewards to the point shop. Then you've got the returnee event. If you're a returning player, you get a bunch of boosts, which I think is very much needed for people that want to come check out the new stuff. And then there is, of course, the optimizations, the big changes to raiding to make it a little bit more difficult, buffing the materials, and then of course nerfing the RPG and Molotovs and I guess low destructive explosives, leaving the C4 and Gatling cannons as the most optimal way to raid. Done some quality of life to the chat interfaces and new journey tasks, quality of life to dungeons such as the Forsaken Giants. And of course, last but not least, you have the message where they're aware of the current trading post clutter or vending machine clutter, and they want to address that as soon as they can. So I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.